Every Imperial capital ship. The Imperial 1 class Star Destroyer. The Imperial 1 class Star Destroyer was the first in the Imperial class line and one of the most iconic ships of the Galactic Empire. Designed by Lear Wessex, it served as the backbone of the Imperial Navy, playing a key role in space battles like those over Scarif and Lothal. The Imperial 1 class was built to replace the aging Venator class Star Destroyers used during the Clone Wars. While the Venators were versatile, the Imperial class was designed for domination, boasting more firepower, a stronger presence, and greater effectiveness in battle. Known as Floating Fortress, these ships carried starfighters and ground vehicles and served as command ships for Imperial officers. With their imposing design and overwhelming firepower, they became a symbol of the Empire's might. The Imperial 1 class measured 1,600 meters, which is about 1 mile in length, about the same as 4 football fields lined up end to end. Armed with heavy turbolasers, ion cannons, and TIE fighters, it was capable of long-range bombardment and close quarters combat. It carried a crew of over 37,000 personnel, including 9,700 stormtroopers, totaling near 47,000. However, it could still operate with a minimum crew of around 2,000. The Imperial 1 class was deployed in large numbers to maintain control over the galaxy, often serving as the flagship in fleets. It was famously commanded by Darth Vader aboard the Devastator, one of the first Imperial class Star Destroyers seen during the Battle of Yavin in A New Hope. The Imperial 1 class remained a powerful symbol of Imperial strength, even in the Legends timeline, continuing to serve in the hands of Imperial remnants and warlords long after the fall of the Empire. The Imperial 2 class Star Destroyer. The Imperial 2 class Star Destroyer, also known as the Imp Star used by the Rebels, was an upgraded version of the original Imperial class Star Destroyer. Built by Quad Drive Yards, it was made to improve on the earlier version, with better firepower, durability, and overall performance. It became the main battleship of the Galactic Empire, playing a major role in the Galactic Civil War and the Empire's last battles. The Imperial 2 class was the same length as the Imperial 1 class at 1,600 meters, but it was slightly more efficient inside. With a width of 900 meters and a height of 400 meters, it had more space for better crew quarters, control centers, and bigger fighter bays. The ship's crew was about 37,000 people, and it offered better living conditions and operations than the original Imperial class. Armed with 60 heavy turbo laser batteries, the ship could take on smaller ships, starfighters, and even attack planets. It also had 60 ion cannon turrets to disable enemy systems, making it great for capturing ships without destroying them. The Imperial 2 class could deploy 10,000 stormtroopers for ground missions and had landing craft for troop transport. It also carried 72 TIE fighters, including TIE fighters, bombers, and interceptors, ensuring it dominated space combat. After Emperor Palpatine's death in 4 ABY, the Imperial 2 class ship Horment was sent to Naboo as part of Operation Cinder, in order to destroy Imperial allied planets using satellites. The Rebel Alliance stopped the mission, and the Torment was destroyed before it could complete its mission. In 5 ABY, several Imperial 2 class ships fought in the Battle of Jakku against the New Republic. After the battle, these ships retreated, but were eventually destroyed by the Executor class Star Dreadnought, Liberty's misrule. In Legends, the Imperial 2 class continued to serve in the hands of Imperial warlords and remnants of the Empire, staying a powerful symbol of Imperial strength long after the Empire fell. The Executor class Dreadnought. The Executor class Star Dreadnought, also known as the Super Star Destroyer, was one of the biggest and most powerful ships in the Star Wars universe. Designed by Lear Wessex, it symbolized the strength of the Empire. Introduced around 0 ABY, these ships were used as flagship command vessels for the Imperial Navy. They led fleets and acted as mobile centers of power. Most famously, the Executor class was Darth Vader's flagship, embodying his command over the Empire. Measuring 19,000 meters, which is about 12 miles long, about twice the length of the largest modern cruise ships, the Executor class Dreadnought was massive. Powered by 13 Executor 50X engines, it could travel at speeds of up to 100 kilometers per hour, roughly the speed of a high-speed passenger train. With a crew of 280,784 and the capacity to carry 38,000 soldiers and support personnel, the Executor class was a formidable, self-contained military ship. The ship had a Class 1 rated main hyperdrive and a Class 10 backup. Its hull was made from alu steel reinforced with titanium, which made it incredibly tough. The bridge was protected by deflector shields and had advanced communication systems to control the fleet. Heavily armed, the Executor class was equipped with 2,000 turbo laser batteries, 250 ion cannons, 125 missile launchers, 40 tractor beams, and 500 laser cannons. This powerful arsenal gave it unmatched firepower, making it a true war machine in space combat. The Executor's most famous moment came during the Battle of Endor. Rebel pilot Arvel Krenid famously crashed his A-wing into the bridge, causing the ship to lose control and crash into the second Death Star, resulting in the destruction of both. The Venator class Star Destroyer. The Venator class Star Destroyer, also known as the Republic Attack Cruiser and later the Imperial Attack Cruiser, was a capital ship built by Kuat Drive Yards. It was a key part of the Galactic Republic's fleet during the Clone Wars and continued to serve the Empire. It was one of the largest ships that could land on planets and was designed to replace the Acclamator class assault ship. Created by Lyra Blissex, it was made to be a battleship, carrier, command ship, and troop transport. The Venator was 1,137 meters long, 548 meters wide, and 268 meters tall. It had a crew of 7,400 and could carry 2,000 clone troopers, along with starfighters and ground vehicles. It was heavily armed with 8 heavy dual turbo laser turrets, 4 on each side of the bridge, as well as laser cannons, torpedo tubes, and tractor beams. The Venator class played a major role in battles like the Battle of Coruscant, where hundreds defended the capital and helped rescue Chancellor Palpatine. The Separatists called them cruiser-class ships to distinguish them from smaller vessels. Although many were lost during the Clone Wars, they were never shown being completely destroyed in the movies. After the war, most were decommissioned as the Empire switched to newer Star Destroyers, the Mandator 1 class and Mandator 2 class Star Dreadnoughts. The Mandator class Star Dreadnought was a powerful warship built by Kuat Drive Yards around 42 BBY, about 20 years before the Clone Wars. Designed to defend the Kuat sector, it had a humpbacked shape similar to the earlier Procurator class battlecruiser. It was the first ship officially called the Dreadnought by the Annexes War College. Thanks to the Ruusan Reformation, its firepower and speed were limited, but it was still a tough warship. Its ventral protrusion housed a massive reactor, making it well defended. By the time the Clone Wars started, 7 of these ships were stationed in Kuat, Azur, Ixtlar, Alsaka, and Humbarine. As the war escalated, the Republic needed something stronger to keep up with the growing Separatist fleet. That's where the Mandator 2 class came in. It was an upgraded version with thicker armor, more firepower, and a faster hyperdrive. 3 older Mandator class ships were also upgraded to match. Even though the Mandator 2 class was bigger than a Venator class Star Destroyer, it wasn't very common. That said, it packed a serious punch. The Separatists would need over 1,000 Recuson class light destroyers to match its firepower. While the Mandator class wasn't destroyed in battle, it was phased out as the war went on. More advanced ships, like the Imperial class Star Destroyer, took over. Some Mandators got upgrades, but most were just retired. The Acclamator class assault ship. The Acclamator class, built by Rofana Heavy Engineering, was a key capital ship for the Galactic Republic. Also called the Acclamator class transport or troop ship, it was the predecessor to the Republic and Imperial Star Destroyers, playing a major role in the early Clone Wars. At 752 meters long, 460 meters wide, and 200 meters tall, about the size of 7 aircraft carriers lined up, it was designed for troop transport and combat support. Built to break blockades and deploy forces directly into battle, its wedge-shaped concentrated firepower while reducing its target profile. The design had been in development for years, with early tests starting around 32 BBY. By the time the Jedi Master Yoda arrived on Kamino, dozens were ready. At the first battle of Geonosis, acclamators transported massive numbers of clone troopers, securing the Republic's first victory. Unlike most ships its size, the Acclamator class could land on both solid ground and water, deploying its troops and vehicles within hours. It used anti-gravity repulsor lifts and landing pads to support its weight, while ramps and hatches provided quick exits. For its size, it was heavily armored, 3 quad-light turbo laser batteries on each side, 6 front-mounted, and 12 heavy laser cannons along its hull. It also carried 4 proton torpedo launchers, tractor beams, and point defense laser cannons, making it capable of orbital bombardment. Though the Acclamator class was phased out early in the Empire's rise, it remains a vital part of Republic military history, paving the way for larger and more powerful warships. Praetor class battlecruiser. The Praetor Star battlecruiser was a massive warship built by Kuat Drive Yards near the end of the Galactic Republic. At 4,000 meters long, it was more than twice the size of a modern aircraft carrier. It replaced the Procurator class, though both had limited firepower and hyperdrives due to Republic-era restrictions. First mentioned in Inside the Worlds of Star Wars Trilogy and updated in the Essential Guide to Warfare, which is a book from 2012, the Praetor class also appeared in Revenge of the Sith, Incredible Cross-Sections, and the Tatooine Manhunt RPG, where it was called the Questor. Designed as a command ship, the Praetor class was bigger and stronger than Imperial-class Star Destroyers and controlled entire sectors of space. Early in the Empire, it served the same leadership role that Super Star Destroyers later would. The Praetor class had a central hangar with 9 fighter squadrons, 1 recon squadron, and 2 bomber squadrons. Side launch racks allowed quick deployment, while the front and back held assault vehicles and transport. Instead of large turrets, the Praetor class had heavy turbo laser batteries along its sides, each with 5 cannons for forward and broadside attacks. Smaller turbo lasers and ion cannons were placed on the top and bottom for extra firepower. The Praetor class was eventually replaced by newer models like the Praetor Mark II. During the Galactic Civil War, Rebels salvaged the derelict Praetor class ship and used its reactors to power Echo Base on Hoth, including its defenses. The Immobilizer 418 interdictor class heavy cruiser. The immobilizer 418 interdictor class heavy cruiser, also known as the drag ship, was designed for Imperial advisor Clen Blista Van's deep core security zone and built by Corellian Engineering Corporation and CNR Fleet Systems. It was the Empire's first successful interdictor, improving on earlier flawed designs from the Galactic Republic. The ship was 600 meters long, about the height of the Eiffel Tower. Built on the Vindicator class heavy cruiser hull, it was equipped with gravity well projectors, allowing it to yank ships out of hyperspace or trap them. For defense, the immobilizer 418 had 20 quad laser cannons, mainly for fighting off starfighters. Its hull was almost identical to the Vindicator class heavy cruiser, but it could be modified with extra weapons for different missions. The ship usually operated with an escort and carried 24 TIE fighters in 2 squadrons. In 14 BBY in the Obroa Sky system, Imperial Moff Wilhuf Tarkin used a newly developed immobilizer to intercept the Corvette Carrion Spike. However, the ship malfunctioned, causing multiple vessels to drop out of hyperspace. It was then sent back to Corellian Engineering for repairs. By 0 ABY, production had stopped due to the ship's limitations, but many were still in service. That same year, one immobilizer intercepted the Desert Jewel in the Dalung system, pulling it out of hyperspace. However, the Desert Jewel destroyed the immobilizer and its TIE fighters. Despite its flaws, the ship remained in use until the Battle of Jakku in 5 ABY, when New Republic forces captured the Glaciate. The Resurgent class Star Destroyer. The Resurgent class Star Destroyer was the First Order's main battleship, designed by Kuat and Trala Engineering. By 34 ABY, these Star Destroyers were among the most formidable in the galaxy, with advanced defenses against resistance fighters. They featured a backup bridge and combined design elements from Mon Calamari cruisers and older Imperial destroyers. At 9,581 feet long, nearly twice the length of the old Imperial class Star Destroyers, the Resurgent class maintained the classic dagger-shaped design. The ship had a crew of 19,000 officers and 55,000 enlisted personnel. The crew worked in 6 4-hour shifts, divided into 3 sections, promoting strong teamwork. Armed with over 1,500 turbo lasers and ion cannons, the Resurgent class could launch its full complement of starfighters and assault ships much quicker than its predecessors in the Imperial Navy. After the destruction of the New Republic fleet during the Hosnian Cataclysm, the Resurgent class became the First Order's primary warship. The finalizer served as the command center for Kylo Ren and General Hux during the search for Jedi Master Luke Skywalker. Learning from the loss of the Executor at the Battle of Endor, the Resurgent class featured an off-center, better protected command bridge with increased redundancy in command and control systems. The bridge height was reduced and an emergency bridge was located mid-ship, built into the vessel's structure for added protection. During the final battle in the Rise of Skywalker, the Resurgent class Star Destroyer Steadfast was destroyed when Finn and Janna used one of its own turbo lasers to destroy the command deck. The crippled ship then crashed into Exegal's surface and exploded. The Sovereign class Super Star Destroyer. The Sovereign class Super Star Destroyer was a huge warship made by the Galactic Empire, designed by Emperor Palpatine. Each one was about 1.5 kilometers long, which is way longer than most warships, about 4 times the size of an aircraft carrier. Even though it's not as famous as the Executor class, the Sovereign class is pretty well known in Star Wars books, comics, and other stories, especially after the Empire fell. It was the Imperial remnant's way of trying to keep the Empire alive. The ship had a crew of over 600,000 people, including about 4,000 gunners. At least 86,000 were needed for basic operations. It could carry 400,000 metric tons of cargo and had 35 squadrons of tie-in interceptors, 5 squadrons of TIE SA bombers, and 75 AT-ATs, which were the big armored walkers. It was stocked with enough supplies to last for 5 years and could carry up to 130,000 troops. Like the Eclipse class, it had a super laser, similar to the one on the Death Star. The Sovereign class also had 75 ion cannons and 100 tractor beams, 55 at the front, 5 at the back, and 20 on each side. It also had 5 gravity well projectors to stop ships from jumping to light speed. In Star Wars Expanded Universe, now known as Legends, the Sovereign class was destroyed during the Yuuzhan Vong War. In Destiny's Way, part of the New Jedi Order series, the ship got wrecked by the Yuuzhan Vong, an alien race that attacked the galaxy. Losing the ship was a huge blow to the Imperial remnant. The Victory 1 class Star Destroyer. The Victory 1 class Star Destroyer is one of the most recognized ships in Star Wars lore, though it never appeared on screen. The Victory 1 class Star Destroyer played a key role in the Empire's rise to power, especially in the final days of the Clone Wars and the early days of the Galactic Empire. Though not as powerful as the Imperial 1 class, the Victory 1 class was designed for efficient patrols, blockades, and assaults. The Victory 1 class measured about 900 meters long, 564 meters wide, and 289 meters tall. To put that into perspective, it's roughly 3 times the length of a modern USS Nimitz aircraft carrier. It had a Class 1.0 hyperdrive with a backup rated at Class 15. The shields could absorb 3,200 SBT. Its weaponry included 10 quad turbo laser batteries, 40 double turbo laser batteries, 20 missile tubes, and 10 tractor beam projectors. The Victory 1 class was rushed into production during the Clone Wars, leading to design flaws and constant maintenance. This earned it a reputation as an unlucky ship, with some even calling it a spacefaring coffin due to its unreliability in battle. In canon, the Victory 1 class Star Destroyer was never destroyed in major events. In the expanded universe, now called Legends, many were likely lost during the Galactic Civil War or replaced by newer models like the Imperial 1 class. However, there is no specific account of one being destroyed in the official stories. The Victory 2 class Star Destroyer was introduced with improvements in armor, firepower, and overall reliability. Built by Kua Drive Yard, it was a mid-sized ship used by the Galactic Empire. It replaced the Venator class and followed the Tarkin doctrine of mass-producing powerful cruisers with starfighters. While it had a smaller hangar, the Victory 2 had a stronger weapon loadout, making it a versatile and tough ship. It came after the Clone Wars as a more advanced version of the original Victory class. The Victory 2 class Star Destroyer is 900 meters long, about 3 times the length of the Empire State Building. It's equipped with strong shields, a Class 1.0 hyperdrive, and heavy firepower, including turbo lasers, missile tubes, and ion cannon turrets. It also has 6 tractor beam projectors and a crew of 6,500 and space for 4,800 troops. Despite its improvements, it was still considered less effective than some of the more advanced Imperial designs, like the Imperial 1 class Star Destroyer, but it still played an important role during the Clone Wars and the early Galactic Empire and was eventually phased out by later classes.